how in the world can people afford $2 million condos in Singapore? And if you are wondering how these people all queue up to buy that $2 million condo in Singapore, here's how they do it. So there are three things that you must check when buying a $2 million condo in Singapore: your initial capital, your down payment, stamp duty and legal costs, your home loans, and your running costs. So before you sign a check to buy that condo, make sure you can afford all these three. Check your income is sufficient for the loan and consider the running costs associated with the property that you are about to buy. So let's talk about the first thing, your initial capital down payment. In order to buy a $2 million property in Singapore, you will need 5% cash, which is the minimum as required by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS, when you borrow 75% of the property value. So 20% can be from your CPF if you have enough CPF savings. You will also need to prepare the legal fees for the buying, which will cost between $2,500 and $3,500 depending on the lawyer. And of course, stamp duty, which is a form of tax that the government collects on documents signed when you buy or acquire property right here in Singapore. So take note that stamp duty applies to both purchase and rental of properties. How it's calculated is based on the property price or the market value, whichever is higher. And you can find a link to calculate this in the description below. So let us now calculate our initial capital based on a $2 million property. So for down payment, you will need 5% cash, 20% CPF, which works out to be about $500,000 or $500,000 for a $2 million property. So add in legal fees of $2,500 to $3,500 and the stamp duty, which works out to be about $69,000, altogether for a grand total of about $572,000 for your initial capital that you need to buy a $2 million property. So the next step you must figure out is loan eligibility. So most people will buy a property using a bank loan. So when taking a bank loan, you must consider this important factor called TDSR, or Total Debt Servicing Ratio. So what TDSR simply means is that for every dollar that you earn, only a maximum of 55 cents can go to servicing your loans. So that includes all your car loans, credit card loans, and that all adds up, that goes to the 55 cents maximum. So the $1 million question is this: how much do you need to earn to afford a $2 million property in Singapore? Assuming that you own a car with a monthly installment of $1,600, you will need to make a salary of $15,800 in order to buy that $2 million condo. But wait, our calculations are based on the buyer being 35 years old, and in home loans term, age matters a lot. Now, if the buyer is 35 years old, the bank is able to grant him a maximum loan of about $1.5 million. And that allows him to cover the 75% portion of the property purchase for that $2 million home. However, at the age of 40 years old, the same buyer can actually only get a maximum of about $1.36 million. And at the age of 50 years old, his maximum home loan is only $970,000+. So you can see, age really matters. And if you look deep at the numbers, at the age of 50 years old, the difference in the amount of loan is more than $500,000, which means in order to buy that $2 million condo, he needs to top up cash of $500,000 or $500,000. And that is not all. In reality, he have to top up this $500,000 on top of the $570,000 of initial capital that we calculated in point 1 for a grand total of more than $1 million just to purchase this $2 million condo at the age of 50 years old. So you can see that age really matters. And as you get older, it is actually more difficult for you to buy a property because of this home loan issue. So next, we are talking about running costs. Let's work out what are the running costs that is associated with a property that still makes sense to you when you run your life. And the most common ones are property tax and the loan installments. So for a 35-year-old with an income of $15,800, your monthly installment will work out to be $6,700 at an interest rate of 3.5%. Monthly maintenance for this property is about $350, with a yearly property tax of $800, which means it's about $70 per month, giving you a grand total of $7,900 per month. So let's figure out the take-home pay. So with a CPF contribution of $1,300 per month, that means $15,800 minus $2,600, it leaves you $13,200 $200 per month. So we already calculated a monthly commitment of $7,900, and to many people, that will really look scary at first. But wait, CPF can actually be used to pay down your home loan, and your monthly commitment now becomes $7,900, take away $2,600, that leaves you $5,300 of monthly commitment per month. And if we calculate with a take-home pay of $13,200, take away $5,300 per month, that leaves you a cash balance of $7,800. So you'll be asking, should you buy or should you not buy? So let's find out. If you take the monthly commitment of $5,300 and work out the percentage based on take-home pay, it is actually about 40%. And based on bank research in Singapore, the monthly income allocation to real estate is about 30 to 40%. I would say, based on theory, you can still buy, but it's going to be a stretch. Now, a better way to do this is to practice the risk assessment method. And we will advise putting in a buffer of 20 to 25% of safety. Even you can theoretically buy a $2 million property at a stretch. Consider buying a $1.5 million property instead. And if you apply the numbers again, your monthly cash allocation to real estate is now below 30%. This, I think, is a more prudent approach, and this will be my recommendation. This is Pete from Singapore Property Pro. I'll see you in the next video.